Good morning, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to attempt to predict the week 3 of the SPFL Premiership games. Now obviously last week we had the League Cup, so obviously that allowed a couple of teams to have the day off. So let's have a look how I did the last game week, and to be honest, not a good week. So I went for Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. It was finished 5-2. But how that finished 5-2, who knows? Went for a 1-0 win to Livingston against St Johnstone. It was a 2-2 draw. Hamilton Kilmarnock. Went for a 2-0 win for Kilmarnock. Other way around. It was a 2-0 win for Hamilton. Hearts Ross County went for a 2-1 win to Hearts. That was a 0-0 draw. Rangers Hibs, I went for a 2-1 win for Rangers. It was 6-1. And St Mirren Aberdeen, I was way off with this one. I predicted Aberdeen to win 3-0. St Mirren won 1-0. So hopefully I can get better this week. Now, it's quite interesting that the first game that we come to is the Lanarkshire derby between Hamilton and Motherwell. Now, the last 5 meetings between these two have resulted in 1 win to Hamilton, 2 wins to Motherwell, 3 wins to Motherwell, and a draw in there for good measure. The last meeting was a 1-1 draw on the 20th of April 2019. So this would have been very, very much before the split. Hamilton, obviously last time out, they won 2-0 against Kilmarnock, and in all honesty, it could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot more. You know, I think they're. I think they would be very, very pleased with that win. Considering that obviously I know Kilmarnock were very, very poor, but you know Hamilton played very well in that game, and you know they'll be buoyed by this one. They'll definitely be buoyed by this one. But interesting to see if they can make a few more additions. It'll be very interesting to see if they can actually make any more acquisitions in the transfer window, because obviously the window shuts on the 2nd of September, so they've not got long. So obviously next Monday's deadline is fast approaching. Motherwell, but on the back of 2 straight defeats, 5-2 against Celtic, but how that finished 5-2. You know, Motherwell actually took the lead in that game, and you know, Celtic were just clinical, very, very clinical on that day. But you know, I think obviously the 2-1 defeat against Hearts was very, very disappointing as well. So they'll want to bounce back, and they seem to have the upper hand when it comes to Lanarkshire derbies. So for this one, I have to back Motherwell because I think they'll be very, very hurting. Hamilton, obviously, you know, they did win the last game at New Douglas Park, or whatever it's called now. I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you what that stadium was called. It's had a few names down the years, but then again, Livingston's has had a few names down the years as well. So I'm going to go for an away win here, and I'm going for a 2-0 win to Motherwell. I just think Motherwell might be a little bit too strong for Hamilton. And obviously, you know, Hamilton did come up against the Kilmarnock side last time out, who are definitely in a transition period under Angelo Alessio. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But for me, I fancy Motherwell. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Motherwell, but it will be very, very close game indeed. I don't think there'll be many goals between the sides. So like I said, I'm going for 2-0 to Hamilton. Hibs against St Johnstone. Now the last 5 meetings between these two have resulted in a win to Hibernian, 2 wins for St Johnstone, and 2 draws in there for good measure. The last meeting was a 2-1 win to Hibs at McDermott Park, but the last meeting at Easter Road, St Johnstone came out 1-0 winners on the 3rd of November 2018. Now, Hibs, what has happened to Hibs? I mean, 6-1 against Rangers. I know they were down to 10 men for a lot of that game, but it's disappointing to see them, capitulate like that, and that was a main worry. And then the next again week, they're taken to extra time by Greenock Morton. Now this was most of their own doing because they scored 2 own goals in that game, and the fans are definitely restless. I've seen a few people saying that I saw one comment which kind of made me laugh. Is Paul Heckingbottom our Ian Cathro? I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that, but it is going to take him time to get his Hibs players, Hibs players to gel. I think. But yeah, it caused to be concerned. Obviously 6-1 away to Rangers is a very very damaging result. But in that game, I know they were down to 10 men for a lot of the time, but it was 2-1 for a wee bit, and then obviously Rangers score 4 goals after that. But yeah, getting taken to extra time again at Morton was very very concerning as well. So they'll want to bounce back. They'll definitely want to bounce back. St Johnstone last time out 2-2 against Livingston. Now, how Livingston didn't win that game in the first half, goodness knows, because Livingston were all over St Johnstone in that first half, and in the second half, St Johnstone came out, and I made the fatal mistake of don't celebrate until the final whistle, because I thought the game was won, but everyone knows about Livingston's away form, which I will come to. I will definitely come to for that. Now it's interesting that St Johnstone, they definitely need a couple more bodies in there. I think definitely a striker. If they can get a striker, I know Stevie May seems to be getting linked with St Johnstone, but it still remains to be seen if that is going to be the case. But I don't know if he's the right man for St Johnstone. But then again, if they can get a striker in, then they'll be looking better. As far as this game goes, you have to look back at the 25th of August 2012. That was the last time that Hibs beat St Johnstone at Easter Road in the Premiership. So, because of that, St Johnstone have got a very good record at Easter Road. I've got a feeling that the hoodoo for Hibs will continue. I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 win to St Johnstone. I just think that St Johnstone will be a fresher team. Obviously Hibs with getting taken to extra time, that'll probably taking a lot out on the players, and it'll be very very interesting to see what sort of mindset they have. But for me, St Johnstone are the fresher team, and I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 win to St Johnstone. Kilmarnock against Aberdeen. Now the last time these two met, let me just get my so Kilmarnock Aberdeen. So the last time these two met, it was the 20th of April 2019. It was a 1-0 win to Aberdeen. The last 5, you have a win for Kilmarnock, 3 wins to Aberdeen, and a draw there for good measure. So Kilmarnock, it's not been a very good start for them. 2 straight defeats in a row. Very very concerning. Be very interesting to see if they can actually bring any more bodies in for sure. It's going to be, I think it is going to take time for Angelo Alessio, but how much time he gets is another matter. But it is very concerning to have 2 defeats in a row. But it is still early days. It's still early days. Aberdeen obviously crashed out of the Europa League. But they managed to beat Dundee 2-1 in the League Cup last week. But they were 1-0 down for a very, very long time. And then obviously that went to extra time as well. That was 5 of the 8 games, in fact, in the League Cup went to extra time. Now, so that's that kind of says, oh, Aberdeen were one of those teams. Sam Cosgrove seems to be being linked with Lazio. Now, this would be very interesting because I think, if I remember rightly, I think the transfer window in Italy closes on the 31st of August. So it'd be very interesting to see if Lazio make their move. But yeah, it's a strange one. Obviously, Lazio seem to want Sam Cosgrove, who has got a very, very good goal scoring record for Aberdeen. Now, for this game, I have to go for Aberdeen because Aberdeen are definitely the informed team at the moment. Kilmarnock don't look like winning under Angelo Alessio anytime soon. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Aberdeen. I just think Aberdeen will probably be too strong. Don't be surprised if Sam Cosgrove gets the goal. In fact, Kilmarnock have not beaten Aberdeen in the league since the 3rd of December 2011, when that was a 2-0 win to Kilmarnock. So Kilmarnock have got a very poor record at Rugby Park against Aberdeen. And, if you thought Hibs' record against St Johnstone was bad, then obviously Kilmarnock's record against Aberdeen is worse. So, but for me, I'm going for a Kilmarnock. I'm going for an Aberdeen win by a goal to 0. Ross County against Livingston. Now, the last time these two met, it was way back. Let's have a wee look. It was way back. In fact, it was 2012 the last time these two met, and it was a 3-0 win to Ross County. So hopefully that is not the result that is going to happen this weekend. Ross County obviously coming off the back of they've picked up 4 points from 2 games. 0-0 draw against Hearts, which was a very good result for them, definitely. And then obviously they beat Hamilton 3-0 on the first day of the season. So do you know what? This is going to be a very, very interesting game. Interestingly enough, though, Ross County don't have a very good record against Livingston. In fact, they've only won 4 games against Livingston in their entire history. So Livingston they definitely got the upper hand in this one. Livingston obviously 2-1 win over Forfar in the Cup. They've obviously got a home tie against Rangers now, which will be a very, very difficult game. But under the lights at the Tony Macaroni, that'll be an interesting one. Yeah. Apart from that, away form is a big worry. I mean, to be 2-0 up against St Johnstone and cruising, it's quite concerning that they didn't hold out in the match. Obviously, they did take a 2-0 lead, but obviously St Johnstone came back into it. But Livingston were partial of their own downfall. Keegan Jacobs makes a mistake, and it's severely punished from St Johnstone, and then obviously the score from the corner. Livingston get a penalty in the very last minute, and thinking 3-2. No, Xander Clark saved it. So yeah, Livingston's away form is very, very worrying. In fact, their last win, I think I've said this in a wee while, was St Mirren way back last season. So that was their last away win in the Premiership. So it's a very, very difficult one to call. As far as Livingston goes, Greg Wild has been told that he is no longer in Gary Holt's plans, has been told to find another club. Doesn't surprise me. Not really seen much of him, and he wasn't great. Didn't kind of suit our style of play either. We play sort of a 3-5-2 last season. He's more of an out-and-out winger. So I think it's the right move for all parties. As far as this one goes, as much as I want to predict the Livingston win, I just can't see it. But I don't think they'll lose. I think Ross County Livingston affairs over the years. Obviously, like I've said, Ross County have only beaten Livingston 4 times in their history. So it'll be very, very interesting to see this one. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I just think that you can't really separate these two, and they will probably be sort of down there in and amongst the sort of the relegation pack, I think. So these two are definitely going to be down there by sort of the end of the season. But for me, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. and obviously there are a few players in there. Josh Mullen, he's coming back. He'll be playing against his former club as well. There's been a lot of players that have played for both of these sides over the years. So, but for me, it's a 1-1 draw for this one. Now we move into Sunday games, and the first game of the Sunday games is a 12:15 kickoff, and it is on BT Sport, and it is St Mirren against Rangers. Now, the last 5 between these two have resulted in 4 wins to Rangers and a draw. The last meeting was a 4-0 win to Rangers at Ibrox, and the last meeting at St Mirren Park was a 2-0 win to Rangers. St Mirren last time out 1-0 against Aberdeen, a very good victory, very good victory, very worthy of the victory as well. They have brought in Junior Morage from Northampton Towns to add a bit more firepower to their team, so that'll be a very good signing for them. Obviously, Jim Goodwin coming up against Steven Gerrard and Gary McAllister. He is a boyhood Liverpool fan. There's obviously been quotes in the papers saying that he used to go to Anfield a lot to watch Stevie G and Gary McAllister play. So, he's coming up against his heroes. So, it'll be a very emotional day for him, for sure. Rangers coming off the back of 0-0 last night in Legia Warsaw. That's a very good result. Very good result indeed. They can definitely, they've got a really good chance of going through now, I think. And if they do win against Legia Warsaw, they're through to the group stage, which would be a big plus. So it'll be interesting. But obviously they won 3-0 against East Fife. They're obviously away to Livingston in the next round of the quarterfinals of the League Cup. So it'll be a very interesting one in that one. Obviously last time they won 6-1 against Hibs in the league. Just absolutely dominant. Jermaine Defoe hat-trick. Seems to be having a bit of a match with Alfredo Morelos. But yeah, Rangers have got a better squad this season, and obviously Shea Ojo scored as well. He seems to have started well for Rangers as well. So, as far as this game goes, I can't see other than a Rangers win. It'd be very interesting to see what kind of team Steven Gerrard plays. Will he rest a few players, considering they've got Legia Warsaw, and then it's the big one, the Old Firm derby next Sunday, which is already looking like a very important game for both teams. But for me, I'm going for a 2-0 win to Rangers. I just think Rangers will be far too strong for St Mirren. And do you know what? They seem to be defending a lot better, Rangers, this season. So it'll be very interesting to see how they do. But for me, I'm going for a 2-0 win to Rangers. Now, the last game of game week 3 is Celtic against Hearts. Now, the last 5 between these two have resulted in 5 wins to Celtic, and the last game was it was a 2-1 win to Celtic at Parkhead. So it'd be very interesting, this one. Celtic obviously coming off the back of a win over AIK Solna. They were very good in that game. Obviously taken to extra time by Dunfermline, which would be a bit of a concern. But Celtic fans, you have a new goalkeeper. Fraser Forster has signed on loan from Southampton. So Fraser Forster returns to Celtic. So I would probably expect him to make his debut, his second debut, I should say, against Hearts. Obviously last time in the league they won 5-2 at Motherwell. It's always nice to see Lee Griffiths back on the score sheet as well. Obviously he's been out of football for a wee while. Do you know what? I think it is going to be a very interesting game, this one. Hearts obviously coming off the back of a 0-0 draw with Ross County, which is very disappointing. But They did win in the cup against Motherwell, and obviously they've now got a few Premier League base players now in their ranks. They've obviously got Connor Washington, who's obviously signed from Sheffield United. Glenn Whelan, they've obviously signed him from Aston Villa. He was obviously a free transfer. And they've managed to get Joe Pereira from Manchester United on loan as well. So, you know, they've got a few good players, players' hearts, and I read somewhere saying that David Hopkin has said that Craig Halkett is sure for a Scotland call-up. Well, if he keeps playing the way he is, he's been absolutely superb, and like I said, he's been a very, very big player for Hearts this season so far. As far as this game goes, I have to back Celtic. I know Celtic have won the last 5 fixtures, but I can't really see anything other than a Celtic win. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Celtic, and it makes next week's Old Firm game a lot interesting as well, because obviously both Rangers and Celtic, if obviously the predictions do come in, they will be on 9 points apiece. But obviously Celtic would be ahead on goal difference, having scored 12 goals in 2 games. But I don't think they can score. I don't think they can score 12 more than 5 against Hearts. But they are capable. They are capable. But for me, I'm going for a 2-0 win to Celtic. That is it. That is my game week 3 match week predictions. Just go through them very, very quickly again. Hamilton 0, Motherwell 2, Hibs 1, St Johnstone 2, Kilmarnock 0, Aberdeen 1, Ross County 1, Livingston 1, St Mirren 0, Rangers 2, and Celtic 2, Hearts 0. Now, if you guys want to have your score predictions, then put them in the comment section below, yeah, we shall see what happens in game week 3. But thank you very much for watching. Good luck to all your teams. Hope they do well. Good luck to Livingston and Ross County in Dingwall. Very, very tricky place to go to. Yeah, hopefully we can get something out of that game, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, we might get an away win. Who knows? But thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back later with another video, which I believe will be a Liverpool against Arsenal preview. So I'll be doing that very later on. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and good luck to your teams for the upcoming weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.